Kim Kardashian is setting herself up for a collab with Neuralink. If you're not aware, Kim is actually a huge supporter of Elon. She owns a Cybertruck, and she owns one of those cyber robots in her house, which she pretended to be romantic with. Now she's broadcasting that she has low brain energy. What's next?
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Verse or Belly Dirt Stranad. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I'm gonna be your today's host, and I have so many statistics to put up here, and we are gonna come out to talk about it. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
Kim Kardashian is not going to get Neuralink. If anything, she's going to go away for a bit, come back and be like, oh my god, I boosted my brain activity. Take these gummies. I created them. They're $29.99. Either that or it's going to be an app. But Kim Kardashian is not going to get Neuralink. Now, yes, we know she loves the Tesla bot. She is a big fan of Elon Musk. Kim Kardashian isn't going to get Neuralink because Kim Kardashian is a narcissist. And a narcissist would never put themselves potentially under someone else's control. I'm telling y'all, she's going to come out with some supplement or gummy or some app or something. I'm telling you, it's not going to be that.
In the latest episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian learned that she has low activity in her frontal lobe. The frontal lobe of your brain is responsible for problem-solving, decision-making, planning, things like that. And surprisingly or unsurprisingly, Kim Kardashian has low activity in that part of her brain. But Kim Kardashian was never known for her intelligence. It is a tough situation to have low activity in that part of your brain, but Kim Kardashian still seems to have accomplished a lot. Anyway, shout out to my latest subscriber, and thank you to everybody who subscribes.
That's what she's going to do. She's going to say, look, I have low brain activity. I'm going to get Neuralink, and it's going to be great, and you should too. Because if I have low brain activity and I have all these resources, you might have it too, and you don't have the resources that I have, so you should just get Neuralink, and everything will be swell. And now I'm starting to think, and this is like really tinfoil hat, I think her like trying to become a lawyer, or at least her like failing the bar exam the other day, crying about it, I think that was a setup.
One of you said Neuralink and Kim Kardashian in the same sentence, and so many of you are running with it. That lack of critical thinking might qualify you for a Neuralink implant for yourselves. Neuralink is a highly invasive surgical procedure which is just now trialed, early human trials, for people that are severely paralyzed. And you think that because Kim Kardashian went and did a brain scan at a scam doctor, showing low brain activity, like, what does that mean? So because of that, you think that she will show up in Q1 of 2026 with a Neuralink implant in her brain. I'm saving your videos, and I'm gonna stitch you when she comes out with a gummy product that increases brain activity or whatever the fuck, because that's probably what's happening.
Brain scan shows that she's a psychopath. Maybe. I know that initially I had other thoughts as someone who was growing up in the early 2000s and saw the Ray J video. And I don't know, there was some interesting language being used in some of those clips, you know, about like holes. And there's some really interesting studies that you can go out and read that are fascinating. I spent a good like 30-40 minutes going through some of these today. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Specifically, there was this one study that talked about these lesions that could form inside the nose, but they, you know, there were some other little gems that you could find in the brain there in people who had chronic uses of some things. But the psychopath thing, maybe. I don't want to give her that much credit. I feel like a psychopath could have passed the bar by now. But, you know, anything's possible when you're a celebrity, I guess. Kim's brain
doesn't even have a college degree. She doesn't even have a college degree. I don't even know how she's able to take the bar exam without a college degree, without going to law school. I thought this was the step, but apparently she's able to do that because she's doing some kind of apprenticeship program. Anyways, I do not feel bad for her because this is a hobby for her. Like, there were people who are going to law school because they generally care about this profession. They were trying to make a difference. They were trying to advocate for people, you know, just go into different laws, but to me it seems like she's just doing this for funsies. Like she just think it's fun. It's a hobby. You know, she's a billionaire. I guess she's trying to add something else to her collections. Because, girl, why are you crying like someone who's been going to law school for a long time and they just devastated that they didn't pass? And this is them passing like the bar exam was gonna make like a huge difference to their salary, to their life. Listen, I don't yeah, bye. I don't feel bad for her. She doesn't even have a college degree.
So Kim Kardashian wants all us to know that she has low brain activity, meaning that the synapses is not synapsing like they supposed to be synapsing up here for her. And she's saying, you know, she got the bar exam coming up. This is all information I'm finding out like right now. But she wants to try Neuralink. And I thought about it like that seems so stupid, but then I thought about like Kim Kardashian's history and how she has like changed the whole course of reality. You know, her and Ray J had a tape. And then we used to shame people for having tapes out, and then Kim Kardashian did it. She changed the whole world. I personally believe she ushered in the OF reality that we live in now. And if she's going to be the first to get a Neuralink, do you know what that's going to do for marketing? For Elon, Neuralinks is going to be selling like Tesla trucks and Tesla robots. And we might start dating the robots because we become sentient, or no, not sentient. We become like, I guess, a damn cyborg. I don't know. But if Kim Kardashian, because of the low brain functioning, is about to get a Neuralink, I can only see everybody else doing it afterward. That's my call.
Let's talk plastic surgery. It seems to be a pretty hot topic lately. I had posted a video about Bradley Cooper, and a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. So now I want to take a look at Kim Kardashian. Here's a picture. So here's a picture of Kim Kardashian side by side at age 25 versus 45, and I got this from the Celeb Talk Girl on Facebook. So what are your thoughts? See, I think when she was 25, like, she looked really kind of like, I don't know, exotic maybe, very, very beautiful. And this definitely, I would even say she probably already had some work done at this point in her life. And then you have her at 45 years old. Obviously her nose has been shaped, just everything looks so different. She really looks like quite a different person. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer Kim pre-surgery or Kim post-surgery, and why? I mean, she's gorgeous, but I mean, I'm curious exactly how much money she has spent on plastic surgery over the years. Also, how far would you go to have your looks changed? Let's say you could have her surgeon, because we know whoever this is, or maybe multiple people, they do a really nice job. She's absolutely gorgeous. I'm curious what all she's had done. And if you could have her surgeon, would you go under the knife if it was paid for? Let me know what you say in the comments. I'll be curious to get a conversation started.
It's COVID. We keep seeing these pretty young and, by all other considerations, healthy people all of a sudden having strokes, aneurysms, heart attack, dropping dead out of what seems like nowhere because of COVID. It's been around for almost 6 years, and for about 5 of those years, we've known it to be systemic. It's in your blood, it's in your bones, it activates autoimmune disorders, it makes you more at risk for a whole host of other things. It can make you develop allergies you never had. It can throw off your menstrual cycles. It shrinks your brain. Like, all of these horrifying things that no one is taking seriously because we've been so heavily propagandized to think that masking is oppressive. It's public health. All it does is keep people from sharing germs, and we have been led to believe that it is like the ultimate symbol of fascism. The surveillance state doesn't want you to mask, dude. That's kind of what it all comes down to, is Peter Thiel wants to be able to scan your face everywhere you go, and he can't do that as well if you're wearing a mask. They also want faith in medical systems that are clearly crumbling to drop even further to subvert money into the wellness industry, which is already like 6 times more revenue than the pharma industry. What? And you know who has like a really vested interest in the wellness industry is RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz, actually.
get your shots, wear a mask. The shit is serious. We still have very little idea of all of the damage that it can do, but we have a really good idea at what we can do to best prevent contracting it, spreading it, and even trying to minimize symptoms to hopefully minimize risk of long-term effects. Don't let them normalize repeat COVID infections. Don't let them normalize anti-vax bullshit. Like, take care of yourself. Take care of other people. And don't use the excuse of, I'm just gonna live my life. You will not have a life to live if you don't just heed precaution.
A lot of people do not know the end game for Neuralink and Kim Kardashian advertising Neuralink. The end game is disability, boo. The end game is disability. Have you ever heard of the phrase, bodies built for labor but not the intellect to profit? That was the entire justification for enslavement, right? If you actually hear about how colonizers and slave traders talked about Black and indigenous people, they talked about those two groups of people like they were physically primed to labor for free because they didn't really know about capitalism. They weren't smart enough to extract profit. That wasn't just the justification for enslavement, it was also the justification for residential schools, institutionalizing indigenous people. And now you'll have to pay for the intellect to profit. That's the entire point of AI and AI's force into our society, right? Is to pay for your ability to profit. Otherwise, you're part of the slave labor force. Because if you can't afford a subscription to your own mind, to your own thoughts, to your own creativity, then you don't deserve to profit in the first place because you weren't smart enough to get it in the first place, right? And it's not just that they're going to, like force you to implant this thing. No, they're going to do some really scary shit to disable people and people who are unemployed to make society think that they are inherently disabled because they're unemployed. Because a lot of you talk about disability as though it's inherently tied to capitalism and your ability to produce labor, which it is. But also, disability is whatever the fuck they say it is, so there's that as well. And by the time people figure that out, they will already have salted the water a little bit too much with their disabled people shouldn't have kids. They will already have manufactured consent for their own genocide. At which point, you're gonna have to figure it out. Because positive eugenics is really just race science that people feel like they have a hand in staving off their own eradication when they don't. At least not individually, but anyways, that's how Neuralink is going to drastically shape society very quickly.
A lot of people are mocking Kim Kardashian because there's a clip going viral where she's at the doctor's office and he tells her that she has low brain activity in her frontal lobe, right? And I want to give you guys my thoughts on that. So, a lot of y'all are laughing, right? But in my opinion, if that's not the norm for a lot of people already, that's going to be the norm in the future, right? So there are several things that can contribute to prefrontal cortex low activity, right? It could be anxiety, depression, things in that spectrum. And it could be a lot of the habits that a lot of people have now. Scrolling social media, not thinking for themselves, utilizing ChatGPT for everything, So there's even studies on, predicting what ChatGPT and just everyone relying on AI will do to the brain. So, in my opinion, it's not a joke, right? So, before you too, if you're not already, become one of those people with low brain activity in your prefrontal cortex, here's what I suggest, right? And I watched a documentary on this as well. So, you need to be constantly doing things that are going to build and repair your brain, right? You need to be doing certain hobbies. I posted a video a while ago about this documentary I watched on Hulu, where the guy was on that quest, right? So, the neuroscientists said things like drumming, things that involve hand-eye coordination, crocheting, piano, learning a new language, hell, reading, right? Reading a book, writing, thinking for yourself, because writing does something to the brain when you write things down. Different physical activities where it requires your brain and your body to be in tandem. I just really can't believe people are laughing like that's not them, right? Because even me, I notice like when I'm trying to talk to people or doing things and people need to require, gotta have a certain attention span, it just made a shock. Like I used to work in insurance, and I was like, something's up with people. And it's not just millennials or Gen Z. It's a lot of older people now. They're on their phones, face down. I'm out in public. I've seen people walk the streets. You know, I seen a lady with kids. She had 2 kids on her arm. Recently, she had her head all in her phone crossing the street. So I feel like a lot of people are suffering from this, I guess, brain rot, if you want to call it, right? So yeah, just know your brain. Like I said, I do a lot of things unintentionally. I do a lot of different brain games and hobbies that will build, repair, and strengthen your brain. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.
There is something that didn't sit right in my spirit when I seen that clip of Kim Kardashian and how she was having this new medical brain scan happen on her. I've been meaning to tell y'all about this. When I seen that clip, something in my spirit did not sit right. Because number one, if you're not having medical conditions, if you're not having symptoms, why are you getting a medical scan of your brain? You have no symptoms, nothing is going on. Why? It just didn't sit right. And these celebrity people, upper echelons, Biggie Wigs, they just be doing weird stuff in general. So to me, it gave me a weird feeling in my spirit. Then I'm gonna say this. What came to my mind was when she was posing with that new robot of Elante Dante Reeves. Soon as the robot launched, she was posing, taking pictures from her new boo, as if she was in a relationship with this robot. Even the photos, I did a video about the photos with her and Optimus, because that's what he calls the Tesla robots. She was posing, and even that didn't even feel right in my spirit. It felt like agenda. On this clip, the doctor is saying that she had low brain activity, and he was saying that stress and all of her studying could be kind of the reason why. And she went on to say, I think she said, that she has to study for the board, taking the board exams or whatever, she's in law school or whatever. What made it weird to me is when she made the statement and said, I have to get on a plane. I'm sorry, you finna play with your brain? What is dropping in my spirit is Neuralink. It's dropping in my spirit. That is the agenda for 2026. I keep telling y'all, they're moving towards playing and trying to dabble in our consciousness. And even when we talk about the fallen, they came down to teach mankind about this technology that we never was supposed to be dabbling and dibbling and dabbling with. But the upper echelons, catch what I'm saying, the Biggie Wigs have made agreements with these fallen, and now we have technology, we're operating, touching things, and doing stuff that we're not even supposed to do. And it goes against the natural order of God. Now, the new movement for when we talk about AI, when we talk about Chat GPT, whatever, all these different things, and the new movement is about your consciousness and control. Gaining control of the mind. The Bible specifically speaks about keeping your mind stayed on Jesus. Not just that, but how we are a new creature when we have the mind of Christ. The Bible even talks about whatsoever a man thinketh, so is he. There are so many scriptures that is literally focused on the consciousness, because the consciousness dwells in the spirit realm. That's what this whole fight is about. It's about the consciousness, the world, the spirit realm. We know all of that. I hope we know this by now. But if you don't believe that the upper echelons, the Biggie Wigs in different arenas are not about the agenda that we know that is coming, because the Bible speaks of the agenda. Please know what the agenda is of the AC. It is coming. This is a full-on agenda to push this whole consciousness. Neuralink, that's in my spirit. For some reason, all of a sudden, I can't pass my board because of my brain is slowing down. Who told you your brain was slowing down? What made you go get checked? Did you have something going on? The man said your brain was healthy. See, 1 + 1 is what? Add it up. They're trying to introduce us to this Neuralink. They're trying to introduce the world into this brain implant crap, this whole consciousness, and it's wild. If y'all don't see that, because we see it every day with our technology and the technologies that I've already mentioned. AI, you have Chat GPT, all about the control of the mind, the consciousness, and coming into agreement with it. If y'all don't see this, and she won't even be the only one. Because see, now the Lord is exposing, she's not going to be the only one. They're going to push it. Just like one day we woke up and next thing we know, we on our phones, we can't give it. Hi, your AI assistant. I didn't ask for no AI assistant. I didn't ask for no assistant. Who said I needed an assistant? That's how it's supposed to be. Oh, hey, brain implant, you need it. Your brain is slowing down. Who told me my brain is slowing down? Who told me that? Again, 2026 is getting ready to be such a year that it's going to be a wild ride. I hope we all who serve Jesus are prepared for what we are actually getting ready to experience, what we're getting ready to see. This year, 2025, was just the setup. It was just putting things in place. The implementation is for 2026. That is what I hear in this.
Alright, let's get straight into it. When Kim Kardashian broadcasted that she supposedly has what she called low brain energy, the internet didn't just pause. Americans started asking real questions, not just gossip questions, not celebrity fan chatter, but deeper questions about why a public figure like Kim would choose to align her image with something as sensitive and scientific as brain scans, neurological performance, and eventually the whispers of a Neuralink collaboration. And that is where this entire conversation begins. Why now? Why this? Why her? Because when Kim Kardashian posts something, it's not random. Nothing about her brand is accidental. Everything is a calibration of attention, value, and cultural influence. This is someone who built an empire on visibility, so when she suddenly starts talking about brain scans, neuro energy, low cohesive frequency, and then publicly flaunts products associated with Elon Musk Cybertruck, Tesla robots, Neuralink, adjacent technologies, America hasn't just watching, they are analyzing. But let's dig deeper. For a long time, the Kardashians have thrived on controlling narrative, beauty, relationship drama, business launches, medical procedure, even family feuds. But stepping into the realm of neuroscience, that is new, that is different, that is not contouring tutorials or a perfume launch. This is the kind of territory where misinformation, science washing, and celebrity influence collide. So let's break down why this is hitting so hard. First, the brain scan itself. Kim posted it publicly, knowing fully well the internet will dissect every pixel. She used phrases like low brain energy and hinted that these scans reveal something about her personality or neurological wiring. Immediately, people began questioning the credibility. Neurologists online jumped in. Psychologists added their skepticism. Some pointed out that these types of commercial brain scans are often marketed with pseudo scientific language, pretty images of the brain with big, bold claims attached. And yet, millions of people took it at face value because it came from Kim Kardashian. Now, add the part where she joked or half-joked about psychopaths. The internet has a short fuse, especially when the word psychopath is involved. People took the clip and ran it with memes, theories, edits, even mock medical breakdowns. Some people genuinely thought she was claiming she had traits associated with psychopathy. Others thought she was trying to create a shock value, and then there were the people who believed she was soft launching some kind of collaboration with Neuralink. Why? Because all the pieces are already in her house. She owns a Cybertruck. She owns a Tesla robot that she has filmed playing with around. She openly praises Elon Musk. She follows Neuralink content, and now she's talking about brain function dislete. To the average person, To the average person, that looks like a brand alignment, like a strategic rollout, like something bigger is coming. But there is another layer that Americans are asking about. Why is celebrity culture merging with neuroscience and emerging technology? Why are people with no medical training suddenly influencers of scientific concepts? Because whether Kim intended it or not, the ripple effect of her posting a brain scan has consequences. This isn't makeup or fashion. This is health. This is neurology. This is the part of the body people fear the most because it defies identity, personality, intelligence, and mental health. And when celebrities start implying that a scan of their brain can explain their personality traits, their life choices, or their emotional patterns, suddenly people start believing that these scans have diagnostic powers they don't actually have. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The psychopath conversation. Kim lightly joked about it, the internet didn't. Comment section filled with people calling her a psychopath, bringing up old scandals, resurfacing old footage, pointing at her emotional presentation. Some went as far as diagnosing her through a screen, which is irresponsible, dangerous, and scientifically unsupported. But here's the interesting twist. Even though many Americans disagree with labeling her, a lot of them still ask, why would Kim risk associating herself with that narrative? Psychopath isn't something you joke about lightly, especially in 2025. Audiences are more aware of mental health language than ever before. There's accountability around casual use of diagnostic terms. So Kim dipping into that pool sparked confusion. Was she being ironic, sarcastic, self-aware, obvious? Or was this all part of something bigger like teasing a future collaboration that revolves around brain anesthetics, creative performance tech, or mental enhancement branding? Because if we zoom out, we see something else happening. Celebrities are slowly entering the biotech aesthetic, cryptotherapy, stem cell drips, creative optimization therapy, longevity clinics, brain mapping, biofeedback studios, neuro enhancement coaching. Is the new luxury status symbol, not just money, not just cars, not just diamonds. Data about your body, access to your biology, optimization of your mind. Kim posting her brain scan fits right into this culture shift. But let's keep going. The timing is also suspicious. Neuralink is in the news. Brain-machine interface studies are trending. Elon Musk is pushing updates about human trials. Tech companies are racing to build wearables that study brain activity. And into this climate, Kim Kardashian announces that she has low brain energy. Low brain energy is not a medical term. It is a marketing term. It sounds scientific, but it's vague enough to catch attention without claiming a diagnosis. That is what made Americans start asking, is this an advertisement? Is this product soft launching something? Is there a Neuralink collab coming? Is she positioning herself as a spokesperson for brain tech culture? It wouldn't be shocking. Kim has built billion-dollar businesses from literally nothing but attention and branding. Aligning herself with new tech would give her an entirely new lane, something futuristic, intellectual, medically adjacent. Imagine the headline: Kim Kardashian becomes first celebrity face of neuro enhancement lifestyle brand. People would laugh, then they would click, and then millions will buy in. But here's the darker side Americans are asking about. What happens when celebrity culture trivializes neuroscience? What happens when millions of teenagers start believing they have low brain energy? What happens when influencers claim that brain scans explain their life choices or personality traits? What happens when neuroscience becomes the next beauty standard? Because right now, that is where it's forming. The same way beauty filters reshape how people see their faces, brain optimization culture is about to reshape how people see their minds. And this is exactly why Kim's post hit a nerve. No pun intended. She wasn't just talking about herself, she was shaping a future aesthetic, a new trend, a new lane where mental diagnostics become content, where neurological vocabularies become TikTok sounds, where people start chasing the idea of fixing or boosting their minds through expensive brain tech that may or may not even work. and Kim, knowingly or not, just stepped into the territory. Now let's talk about public reaction. Some people laugh it off, some called her delusional, some accused her of trying to appear smarter or more complex than her public personnel. Some genuinely believe she was making a serious scientific statement, but most Americans were simply asking, why is she posting this? Because none of this aligned with the typical Kardashian's marketing pattern. This wasn't promoting Kim. This wasn't advertising a product. This wasn't tied to the show. This wasn't linked to a perfume drop or a makeup line. It was out of place, it was random, it was too sudden, it was too convenient, and in celebrity culture, nothing that feels random is actually random. Then there is another angle, the relationship between celebrity influence and medical misinformation. The Kardashians have been criticized before for promoting questionable wellness practice, but stepping into the realm of brain health raises the stake. A lot of Americans pointed out, this is how misinformation spreads. This is how people get manipulated. This is how pseudoscience becomes normalized. Because Kim Kardashian is not a neuroscientist, she isn't a psychologist, she isn't a neurologist, yet when she speaks about brain, millions listen. Even if she's joking, even if she's being ironic, even if she's repeating marketing language she doesn't fully understand. So, when present brain data, real or not real, it becomes part of a cultural blueprint. And Kim Kardashian, always at the forefront of the cultural economy, is stepping into that space. Whether she understands the science or not, whether the brain scan is credible or not, whether the claims make sense or not, the influence is still real, and that is the real story behind this trend. Not the scan, not the terminology, not the psychopath jokes, not the memes, not even the Neuralink rumors. The real story is that a major celebrity has just entered the neuroscience conversation, and millions of people followed without question. That is why Americans are asking, not because the misinformation is confusing, but because the implications are enormous.
And if you watched up to this extent, don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just share your thought? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.